Baba, good evening. How are you?
Good, good, good.
Wonderful. So
Yeah,
good to see you, Baba. Since last week, it's been a while since we saw each other on video. Glad
yes.
to connect with you again. And before I, you know, discuss today what we're going to talk about, I just thought let me at least give a very quick introduction as to why we call this discussion knowing the known. I should have done so in the first episode, but I think completely out of excitement, the first time we were doing the recording, it slipped my mind. So for all those who probably have read my father's book, his first book, which was a non-technical book that he wrote, was called Knowing the Known. So I borrowed the name of these conversations from that book called Knowing the Known. And as the name suggests, the idea is to discuss topics that are known to everyone. I hope that all of you can resonate and stories from your own lives and ponder once you hear our conversations. So that's in a nutshell why we call these conversations knowing the known. It is of course a name that a title that I've taken from and borrowed from my father's one of his many books. So that's it, Baba. So today, taking the next step of conversations from our very homely cocoon world of Sunday lunches, mangsho bhat, to how you grew up, I'll take you to an area which we may not have discussed so frequently, like we discuss films, movies, music. I just thought of discussing today sports.
Okay.
Fine. So, Baba, I want to start off today with, did you play any sport when you were growing up in Aryanagar in Kanpur? Did you play any sport?
In fact, as you rightly said,
Hmm.
we have hardly discussed, we have discussed sports.
Yes.
We have hardly discussed my my the my time when I was young, whether I played any game or not.
Absolutely. Yes.
And let me tell you, uh, I was a very good sprinter.
Acha.
100
Okay.
meter I used to run,
Hmm.
and I always came first.
Okay.
In my pada, that
Hmm.
means where I grew up
Hmm.
during Saraswati Puja,
Hmm.
and that was we used to have a Saraswati Puja sports meet,
Okay.
and mainly for Bengalis,
Right.
and there I used to participate, and then that gave me a lot of courage, and I
Okay.
started running in the school also, and
Okay.
up to class 8,
Oh.
and up to class 8 and 8 9 maybe 10. And I always used to come first, despite my short height. Normally, somebody is very tall and all that, they
Right.
run very fast. In
Right.
my case, I was very short, but I used to run very fast.
Okay.
And that gave me a lot of courage. I started playing football.
Okay. Okay.
I was really, when I used to play right wing. And
Okay.
in our park, one of our parks, nearby parks. And since I used to run very fast and all that, and then I very distinctly remember once the game is over, I used to drink lot of water. I mean, matka pani type ka nahi hota, just
समझ गए हाँ जी
a tap.
हाँ
You go there and I will drink so much water. I don't know why, because these days I don't drink water. And I was
हाँ
thinking how you used to take, maybe those days I took so much of water that कि आज तक वो चल रहा है मेरा पानी, तो अभी तक चल रहा है मेरा पानी. And actually, but I was very fond of cricket.
अच्छा
I was very fond of, though I used to play very good football,
हाँ
I was very fond of cricket.
ओके
And I used to bowl mostly
ओके ओके
leg break, slow leg break.
हाँ जी
And leg breaks are always, very dicey things. Either they are on the pitch, then you have a very good ball, and if you are going little bit haywire, then you get a
yeah,
four.
they're gone for runs.
Yeah, so that was the thing. And I used to play cricket. I used to play football. and these are the starting points. These are the starting points, and uh, but my interest in games was always there.
Okay. Okay.
Can you believe that when I was in college,
Huh.
and I never played tennis, but I used
Right.
to love tennis so much that I was my team's captain, non-playing captain. So, I mean, I knew the game, and I knew my friends were playing and I used to play. So this is how kind of,
You kind of played the role of the coach.
not coach, I would say, to give them company,
I get it.
they
I get
love,
it. Exactly.
love my this thing and all that. They will take me. I will give them this thing, that thing, and because for my love of the game, they will
Right.
take me. That is that. But I never played. I never played. For example, badminton. For example, table tennis. I played table tennis.
Mhm.
So these are the things I did. But uh, I lost touch with playing the games
Tell me one
after
thing.
after 10th. But
Right.
you can say that my love for the game was
Mm.
there. And as you know that uh, you might have seen me in many of the games.
Absolutely.
I have not directly participated.
No, but I'll tell you, and I'll come to that. But tell me one thing. When you were growing up, I know you discuss sports like track and field, you've discussed football, cricket. But during your times, there were also gully games, right? As we call them. जब हम
Yes.
लोग बचपन में हमने छुपन छुपाई बहुत खेली है, लंगड़ी टांग बहुत खेला है,
Hmm.
जो 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 बचपन में खेला जाता है,
Hmm.
मुझे अभी भी ये कहानियां याद है आपकी. वो कहानी है कितनी हकीकत है वो तो नहीं पता मुझे कि आप यू यूज टू प्ले विद लट्टू
I
and you used to be very good at that,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And you used to play kancha,
Yes.
right? So my
Yes.
question is, and it's not a question, just wanted to understand one thing. I've also tried my hands in kancha when I was a small kid. Gully danda also was a big thing during your youth or when you were growing up.
Yes.
How come these games are no more played? I have not seen a child play gully danda, lattu, or kancha. Forget playing, they might not be even aware of it.
Actually,
Maybe a
Mira,
lack of space.
yeah,
It could
yeah,
be.
that's like
What is it?
one lack of space is one thing. For example, if you are playing gulli danda, you need
Hmm.
to have a big field
Right,
that is not available for gulli danda purposes.
right,
About
right.
lattu, you are asking me,
हाँ जी.
how can you play lattu when you don't have the pin? उन दिनों में जमा HMB का रिकॉर्ड मिलता था, उसके साथ पिन मिलता था, उस पिन को हम लोग यूज करते थे लट्टू चलाने के लिए.
Right.
Where is that pin? So slowly these things went away from the market and the lattu bhi nahi raha. Actually, I used to have hundreds and hundreds of lattus, and
हाँ.
we used to play and we used to win lattus, that
अच्छा.
जिसका लट्टू जितनी देर दौड़ेगा घूमेगा वो
हाँ.
जीतेगा. I
Right,
used to have lots of lattus and I still remember the shape of the
right,
lattu.
right, right,
तो
right.
ऊपर से ऊंचा होगा, बीच खोखला होगा, क्या होगा.
जी.
और आई यूज्ड टू नो दैट हाउ टू टाई द जो उसके अराउंड में जो करते रैप करते थे
हम्म.
रस्सी, उसको किस तरह रैप करना पड़ेगा, कितना क्या करना पड़ेगा, कहाँ पर फेंकना पड़ेगा, किस एंगल में फेंकना पड़ेगा, ये सब हमने एक चीज हम उनको बता रहे हैं. दिस इज माय एक्सपीरियंस.
हाँ, बताइए.
ऑल गेम्स आर प्लेड फ्रॉम द नेक अप.
Absolutely. Very well said. Very
All
true.
games are played from the neck up. Whether you play cricket, whether you play football, whether you play tennis, or whether you play तीन पत्ती.
ठीक.
जहां पर तुम्हारे कार्ड बांटे बांटे जा रहे हैं एंड यू डोंट नो व्हाट कार्ड यू आर गोइंग टू गेट, बट तुम्हारा अगर दिमाग खाली है तो तुम खेल नहीं सकते हो. बिकॉज ब्लाइंड खेलो और द वे यू प्ले, ऐसा पोज करो जैसे कि तुम्हारे बहुत बड़े कार्ड आ गए, तो
जी.
आप खेल के तुम्हारे पास ही आई है. एक्चुअली मैंने बचपन से इतने ये सब खेला है ना कि क्या बताएं. मैंने बर्बाद होने का तो यही का कारण था कि मैं तीन पत्ती खेलता था, हर तरह का गेम खेलता था, फिल्में देखता था. सबसे अच्छी
मुझे
बात थी.
आपका इससे या एक व्याख्या आया था कि not your youth, my youth, but I've seen you play because I recall two instances from my childhood. एक हम लोग जब जर्मनी में रहा करते थे, if you
हाँ.
remember, there was this cemented table tennis court, table sorry,
Yes.
जो हमारे गेस्ट हाउस से बहुत पास था,
पीछे था. हाँ.
पीछे था एकदम. तो आफ्टर लंच या डिनर आप और मैं जा करते थे, वी टू प्ले, थोड़ा थोड़ा खेलते थे, लॉट ऑफ फन, बहुत मजा आता था. But more than that, I remember the cricket matches that we used to play in IIT. When you or your friends with those days was Burke, Biochemical Engineering Research Center. Then later on became Department of Biotechnology. मैं IIT दिल्ली की बात कर रहा हूँ. Where you used to organize these games between students and teachers, or a combination of student teacher.
Yes.
अरे हम तो जहाँ आप वहीं पे हम लोग सब तो we used to, that was a family picnic. खाना वाना घर से आता था.
Yes.
And I remember, I don't remember your leg breaks then, but I remember you were fairly good at least batting. मैंने जो देखा था, you used to square cut हुआ, square drive, मतलब you were fairly good in batting as well. And I think the way you blended with your students, you know, it's a memory that I still recall. So with that, I'll probably ask you because those were friendly matches.
Yes.
Yes. But when we all love sports, we love cricket as you rightly said, right? But when मतलब खेल में मजा तभी आता है when either two players or two teams are equally matched.
Yes.
Otherwise मजा नहीं आता है.
Yes.
I mean, for instance, if India is beating, say, Zimbabwe 7-0, मैं वो देखना बंद कर दूंगा. I am okay with, while I'll never be okay with India losing, but टक्कर का मैच देखना है मुझे.
बिल्कुल.
है ना?
Yes.
My question to you is, as someone who loved playing sports, as somebody who followed many sports while growing up, how important is winning?
Actually, I tell you, I introduced this thing in IIT
Okay.
with the sole purpose that there should be, we are a department.
Right.
We have professors, we have students, and we have class 4 also.
Right.
Lab attendants and other things,
Right.
other people, clerical staff and all that. I really wanted that we should all play games together.
Right.
And, sports is such a thing. It brings
everyone together.
Competition as well as cooperation.
Right.
This is the best thing. And when we used to play with students, generally it is assumed that students are going to be better than teachers.
Right.
And no, but we used to play as if we are not a weaker team.
Absolutely.
We used to play with all our might. I remember Ramchandran, for example. You know Ramchandran.
Absolutely.
And then he was there. So many some of our teachers, they are very good, and we used to play. And the most important thing is that when we are sharing our lunch and we are sharing so many other things,
Right.
And somebody who's a lab attendant and all that, and he's bowling to me and all that, he's trying to bowl me out,
Right.
No, that was the spirit, and then it was really fun. But very unfortunately, this continued for 4 or 5 years.
Right.
And it did not continue for a very long time. I will tell you why.
Okay.
That is very, very sad. And I think that is where I feel very bad about it. That, students started asking me questions, why play? Sir, खेलने से क्या होगा? हमने कहा ग्रेड्स नहीं बढ़ेंगे. हम लोग क्रिकेट खेलते हैं तो इसके माने ये नहीं कि तुम्हारे ग्रेड्स बढ़ जाएंगे. दैट इज नॉट द पर्पस. इट इज ऑलवेज वी वांट टू प्ले एंड ऑल दैट. देन one year one student asked me. Next year many students asked me. They thought instead of playing the game with us, if they spend something somewhere, that is much more useful.
Okay.
I felt that then my purpose is lost. That my
Right,
purpose is to bring students and teachers and everybody together. That
right,
is lost. And because the pressures of life were so kind of binding them, to go somewhere else.
right,
And
right.
that was really, I think wherever there is a possibility, we should play it together with everyone.
Absolutely.
There's so much of bonhomie, there's so much of comradeship, there's so much of compatible. You think that you are part of something.
True. Very true.
And all competition, cooperation, and everything. I always think गेम से मैंने सीखा है, जो जीता वही सिकंदर,
जी।
बाकी सब बंदर।
हाँ जी।
अगर न बंदर होता, कहां से सिकंदर बनता?
सही कहा आपने। एब्सोल्युटली।
यही बात है। अगर कोई हारने वाला नहीं होता तो सिकंदर भी नहीं बनता। तो मैंने तो ये देखा है कि जीतना है मुझे, लेकिन हारने वाला भी तो होना चाहिए। अगर हारने वाला ही नहीं होगा तो जीतेंगे कहां से?
सही बात।
यही बात है। दैट इज व्हाट माय
No, I love that spirit that you just espoused upon. भाई बात बताइए, I have a couple of icons in mind. When we think of icons, right? We 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 think of, because we worship our icons, right? वो फिल्म की जगत से हो सकते हैं, स्पोर्ट्स से हो सकते हैं, अपने काम के जगत से हो सकते हैं, दे कुड बी इन द फील्ड ऑफ साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी, whatever. But I have chosen at least the first two icons, very interesting characters, brilliant in their field, but not so outside of it, or maybe their antics. My first icon today is, and I want to understand how would you, मैं मापने को नहीं कह रहा हूँ, बोला just your view about that person. Arguably one of the greatest footballers of all time. There is always this competition who was better between him and Pele. So, no guesses for who my first icon is. Maradona. Very, very controversial figure in many ways. How do you sum up who Maradona is?
actually, as I told you that though I was a good football player,
Right.
but my interests were not so much in football,
Okay.
the game, football game.
Right.
So, for example, in India, you Mohun Baghani's Bengal and all that, I had no interest. No.
Right. Right.
In fact, I did not know who is playing for whom.
Absolutely.
Similarly, Maradona and all that, when
So I'm not talking about his antics as a player, Baba.
actually, you must have antics as a player. You must
Right.
have an antics as a player. I think if you want to become a hero, and you must have antics. For example,
So I'll give you a second one.
my
Okay,
all-time
I know you have followed this the second legend I'm talking about. He was known for his bad behavior on the court, but one of the greatest to play the sport, John McEnroe. How do you
absolutely, he's
describe
my
him?
hero. He's absolutely my hero. There are two heroes in my case. In
Okay,
fact, if you are talking about John McEnroe is one, and Kapil Dev is another. Though Kapil Dev is not so aggressive
right, right,
as Sourav Ganguly, for example, is.
right,
But Kapil Dev is my absolute hero, and John McEnroe is my absolute hero. And if you are asking me two matches, I would recall here is
please,
1983 World Cup,
right,
and then McEnroe Bjorn Borg match in
1980,
1980 when I was in Melbourne. We were in Melbourne that time, and you were 1 or 2, 3 months old.
one couple
Uh,
of months old, I
couple of
think.
months old, and I remember we saw the match with your ma whole night, whole
Right,
night, and I just can't tell you that. Still, I can tell you, I was so excited. I was never so excited watching a game. McEnroe, Borg. Unfortunately, um, next match, for example, Bjorn Borg and McEnroe, which was in four sets,
exactly,
where McEnroe won. That was not that great. It was everyone was expecting that to be a great match, but that was not. But the Melbourne match, we were together, and when you were just sitting, lying on a bed, and we are watching the game, whole night, and it was really a great experience. I can still recall 1980 and today is 2022. Out of 42 years,
Tell
I can.
me something. Tell me something. Why were you such a big fan of Mac? I mean, nothing to take away from him being the player. He was a legend. He was a brilliant player. Was it because of his eccentricity, or was it because he was the underdog then? It's a combination of many factors, actually.
Actually, I tell you, uh, it can't be because of eccentricity.
Hmm.
He
Right,
was when I used to see him playing,
right,
and the confidence in him, the
right,
pride in him,
right.
that
The
attracted me.
passion, the
The
passion in him.
passion, the confidence,
Right,
the pride in him, that attracted me. Actually, when McEnroe became, no, afterwards, when he became world number one, and that time Borg was going out of the game.
right, right,
McEnroe told him that please come and play with me, and Borg
right,
was not coming. No,
right.
that I did not. The spirit was not there. McEnroe, the spirit was there, and that I really liked. And then the aggression is there, but then the sportsman's spirit, you could say,
Absolutely.
the passion for the game and all that. I'm going to win, something like that.
Right, right.
That attracted me.
So, and your next hero, obviously, I mean, we can go on and on about Kapil Dev. I just recently watched 83. I was lucky to watch it before the cinema houses shut down. Uh, he, by far, and to many views, right, you could probably call him the original superstar of Indian cricket, right?
Mm,
Uh,
absolutely.
what makes Kapil Dev so endeared to you? Why do you? Well, I know when you think of Kapil Dev, there is Kapil Dev, and then there's a rest. What
Yes.
makes him so special?
Actually, there are two things.
Hmm.
One, his leadership role,
Okay.
the
Okay.
way he provided leadership role from the front.
Right.
And second thing, he was such a good all-rounder.
Right.
He was
Right.
not only a good batsman, he was good bowler,
Very good bowler, actually.
both, and he was such a good uh,
Fielder.
fielder.
Right.
So you see the catch he has taken. I have not seen 83
No,
now.
but that changed the match.
Yes,
The one he took off Viv Richards.
that's the most important. Kapil Dev is Kapil Dev, and I think because of these two qualities, his leadership role, and he was a leader, but he was also a follower. You have to understand the leadership role. I
Right.
have You have to understand if you are a good leader, you have need to be a good follower.
Right.
Kapil Dev
Right.
was a
Right.
good leader as well as a good follower, and that attracted me very much.
Wonderful. And Baba, I'm just conscious about the time because we thought we'll confine this conversation between 15 to 20 minutes. My
Yes,
last question for the evening today is uh, I really feel India's had extremely successful Indian cricket, very successful captains for the past few years, right?
yes,
When I compare, right, because I think all the three in their own right are legends,
yes,
be it Saurav Ganguly, be it Mahendra Singh Dhoni or Virat Kohli.
mm,
Nobody can take away the greatness who they are as individual players.
mm,
But if you look at them as leaders,
mm.
when you think of, but all have their own sense of aggression, like you said.
Yes.
How would you define the three? Saurav Ganguly, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Virat Kohli.
Very difficult question.
Yeah, very tough.
Saurav Ganguly brought India back to the game. It
Right,
is his leadership, it is his aggression, it is his, no, we can do it.
right,
That he brought to the game. And
right.
Saurav Ganguly have to give credit beyond anybody. Above
Right.
anybody. And
Okay.
absolutely. Dhoni was a great man. That is, I told you, that is very difficult to kind of, if I have to rank them, I would say Saurav Ganguly, Dhoni, and Virat Kohli.
Right, right, right,
And because of different reasons, nobody is a better batsman than Dhoni.
right,
Nobody is a
right,
better captain than Saurav Ganguly.
right.
Nobody is a school captain than Dhoni. So
Dhoni, absolutely.
in a
They have
very,
their
very
own areas.
yes, difficult situation, Dhoni is the best. So it's very, very difficult to tell, but everybody has a bias, everybody has a personal choice. My choice goes like this.
Absolutely. And I'll probably sum up today's evening with this last question that I have. See, sports, you've been privileged to teach and, work in many countries abroad, right? You've been
Yes,
in Germany, you've been in Australia. So if I take Australia, Australia is known for its sports fanaticism. They
yes,
are good in every sport that they play,
yes,
right?
yes,
And they're very passionate about their game, right? They love their game.
yes.
How important is sports confined only to an affluent nation? And how do you see sports, or the way we view sports, for the changing India that we live in now?
You see, sports is very, very important in someone's life, For a
Right,
country, I'm just telling you. If you are good in sports, your status in the world increases.
right, right,
No, that is very, very clear. There is no argument about that.
right,
If you are good in sports, whether it is cricket or football or tennis or whatever, or sprint.
right,
And second thing is that resources and sports. You know, rich countries are good in sports where a lot of resources are required.
right,
Poor countries are good in sports where so much resources are not required. For
right,
example, no race and all that, so many other things. So many
right,
where you requires very minimal structure.
right.
That is the one thing. So that is one, and if you see the pattern, and that is emerging. And passion for the game is very, very important, and
Right,
passion doesn't build in a day or two.
right,
Passion takes time. It is like evolution.
right.
If a country evolves, it is not that in one day it evolves. It evolves
Absolutely.
to an age, a history takes it to. Passion for the game is very, very important, and I think, and these are the factors. Why
Right.
America is not so good in cricket? Because they don't have passion, because they have not evolved thinking about cricket.
Passion for cricket, but the other one is very, very passionate
Yeah,
about
yeah,
sports.
passion for cricket. I'm just talking about.
Right, right,
So they have not evolved. Their thinking has not evolved. You have to think scientifically. That their thinking has not evolved that way, and that is why I think passion is very, very important. And then what is available with you? How much your people, and you have to understand how much your people are supporting the game.
right, right. And I
No,
also feel, Baba, in one way, and I know we have stretched this conversation beyond the stipulated period of time. I think for every sport to become that ghar ghar ka sport, you need to have that star also,
yes, absolutely. You
right?
need to have, yes, for anything, for
I
anything.
mean, you in America, the way golf became after Tiger Woods, or what basketball became. I mean, and not to mention that basketball was not big in America; it was always big, right?
Yes,
But
yes,
every sports needs that hero. And
yes,
it's a symbiotic relationship, I guess.
yes, yes, absolutely. As I told there are heroes are required everywhere.
Right,
Whether
right,
you are in politics, whether you are in sports, whether you're a school teacher, when you go to school,
right.
you must have a hero in your mind.
Absolutely,
And that is
absolutely.
why you go to school. And that is why I'm just telling hero is very, very important. You know,
Right,
and people come and go, but heroes remain with us. I
right.
can never forget Kapil Dev. Will never forget McEnroe.
Right.
Though, if you see the history and of the game and all that, Bjorn Borg is a much better player. But for me, McEnroe is my
Absolutely.
hero. No, that is
A
the whole.
hero is whom you define, whom you see as one.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Perfect. Perfect. Baba, thank you so much. Like I said, these discussions have no end, but I will call it one for today. Thank you
Yes.
so much, and I look forward to having many more in days to
Thank you.
come.
Yes, I
Thank you, Baba.
enjoyed talking to you. I always enjoy talking to you. Only thing is that the difference is now you're recording it.
Right.
Otherwise, we are talking to you
Always, yes. The only
always.
difference is yes,
Actually, we love talking
and,
about
and,
film,
and
music, and all this.
maybe a little conscious of the fact that we are recording, and I guess we'll get used to that also in
Yes.
the next
Yes,
couple of episodes.
we are little conscious. When I am in a classroom, I'm not conscious at all because I am in front
Right.
of students. This is what I have been doing for the past 45 years. So I have
Right.
no problem. But in front of this thing, when I take a class in a laptop,
Right.
I'm not so natural, because
Absolutely.
I'm absolutely I'm become conscious and all that is okay.
It's part
At
of life.
conscious or not conscious doesn't matter.
Right. But the basic point, like you said, it was an enjoyable conversation, and that's the most important thing.
Yes.
Right? Looking forward to another one, Baba. Bye for now. Looking forward to many more.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.